After this mom gave birth to triplets 9 weeks early, she learned they're 1 in 200 million. Every mom thinks that their baby is 1 in a million, but one woman from the UK learned that her newborns were a whole lot more special than that. Triplets didn't even run in her family, and there was something else truly incredible in their DNA. Becky Jo Allen is a mom from Liverpool, England, with a remarkable story. Back in 2015, her life with young daughter Indiana was pretty normal. But then something happened that drastically changed Allen's life forever, and it started when she began feeling unwell. Soon Allen discovered that she was pregnant, but unfortunately for her, things didn't go so smoothly at the start of her pregnancy. Allen had terrible morning sickness, for example, and she was suffering with bad headaches as well. That's when Allen, who was in her early 20s at the time, decided to get a checkup to make sure that everything was fine. She was able to book herself in for an early scan and only 9 weeks into her pregnancy headed to the hospital. And it was during that appointment that Allen received some news that came as a total shock to her. It turned out that Allen's pregnancy was far from routine, and there was something extra special about her situation. But she never would have guessed what. Allen was informed that she wasn't expecting one baby. She wasn't even going to have twins. In fact, she was carrying triplets. "I couldn't believe it," she told the Daily Mail. "I hadn't even thought it might be twins, let alone triplets, and we haven't got any in the family." Nonetheless, 3 little miracles were on their way, whether Allen was planning for them or not. Having triplets was going to be extraordinary enough in itself, but it turned out that there was something else remarkable about the baby she was carrying. However, she wouldn't discover what that was until she brought them into the world. At only 31 weeks, all 3 babies were delivered via cesarean section. Allen had 3 tiny baby boys, all weighing under 4 pounds. But because they were so small, they would remain in ICU for more than a month. After 6 weeks, Rocco, Roman, and Rohan were finally allowed home, where they continued to grow bigger and stronger. Initially, though, it was difficult for other people to tell the 3 babies apart. Nonetheless, Allen's motherly instinct meant that she never got the triplets confused herself. But people continued to think that the 3 boys looked totally alike, and some were convinced that the brothers were identical triplets. Indeed, it wasn't uncommon for Allen to be stopped in the street by people wondering if they were identical or not. As a result, Allen eventually decided to find out once and for all. Although she'd been told by the hospital that her boys weren't identical, she became more and more doubtful. The next step was to have a DNA test done in order to ascertain the truth. And when the results came back, everyone's suspicions were confirmed. The triplets were identical after all. Given that they looked so alike to the naked eye, it wasn't perhaps so surprising. But looking at the statistics, it was a truly remarkable occurrence. Allen was informed that the chances of her having identical triplets were very slim. In fact, odds of naturally conceiving identical triplets were an incredible 200 million to 1. But in little Rocco, Roman, and Rohan, she had somehow managed it. Allen couldn't believe how special her 3 boys were. According to the Daily Mail, there were only a few other sets of identical triplets in the whole of the UK, which only confirmed the exceptional nature of the boys' story. Although the triplets looked alike, it became a little easier for people to tell them apart as they developed. Once they were a little older, of course, their individual personalities began to emerge. Rohan proved himself to be the loudest of the 3, while Rocco was the most relaxed brother. Roman, on the other hand, wanted the toys all to himself and didn't enjoy sharing with his brothers. According to their mom, all 3 triplets were constantly fighting over the same toys. Their big sister, Indiana, was nonetheless very fond of her young siblings. There are a few physical indicators that help people tell the triplets apart too. The birthmark on Roman's forehead, for instance, is a little darker than his brother's. Rohan, meanwhile, has another birthmark on his leg, which helps to distinguish him. And all 3 of them certainly cause havoc around the house. Allen claims that the brothers use 130 diapers every single week, and her washing machine takes 3 loads per day. Thankfully, Allen has a younger sister, Lauren, who helps out around the house, as the triplets' father does not live with the family. Allen also has decided to share her triplets' incredible story, launching an Instagram page to document their day-to-day lives. It features plenty of adorable photos of Rocco, Roman, and Rohan in matching outfits, as well as some reminders of their first few weeks in the world. With nearly 60,000 followers, it's clear that the handsome little triplets are a hit with the public. The boys are now 2 years old and have even been lucky enough to enjoy a recent trip to Disneyland Paris with their big sister. That will surely be the first of many adventures to come. Please share this video with your friends below.